The Christmas Pig, written by J.K. Rowling, illustrated by Jim Field. Chapter 17 The Three Doors. The thousands of green ticket holders formed untidy lines. There was much jostling and pushing. Many things were still staring longingly up at the finding holes in the ceiling, hoping to be caught in a shaft of golden light and transported back up to the land of the living. Lost adjusters and black cats pushed them onward with cruel laughs. Too late now. It's time for allocation. What does that mean? Jack muttered to the Christmas pig. I'm not sure, said the Christmas pig, but I think it must have to do with which part of the land of the lost we're sent to. They joined a line behind the magnificent sapphire ring. Would you believe it? She was saying loudly to anybody who'd listen. She took me off to wash her hands and left me behind on the sink. Jack looked anxiously toward the front of the line. At first, he couldn't see what lay there, but their line moved quickly, and soon he realized that they were heading toward a long row of desks at which more lost adjusters sat, among them a mouse trap, a corkscrew, and a stapler. Beyond the desks were three gigantic doors. The first was made of plain wood, the kind of you'd find in a barn or an outhouse. The second was made of shining steel, the sort you'd see on a safe or strong room. The last was made of shining gold, and it was beautifully engraved with curling vines and flowers. Many of the things in the lines were pointing at this third door with longing expressions. One by one, the things who had reached the front of the lines were called forward to sit at one of the desks. The lost adjusters asked them questions. Then, when the interview was over, the lost adjuster stamped their ticket and ordered them toward one of the doors. I'm worried, said the Christmas pig suddenly. What about? Asked Jack. About how we're going to get you past the lost adjusters without them realizing you're a human, said the Christmas pig. The tin opener didn't realize, said Jack. But it wasn't her job to find out about you or decide where you're sent next, said the Christmas pig. Quick, we need to come up with a story. What factory were you made in? I don't know, said Jack, trying but failing to think of a name that sounded like a factory's. Say the Dingle Down Factory, Birmingham, said the Christmas pig. That was my factory, and they made action figures as well as cuddly pigs. Now, what are you called? Jack. Action figures aren't called Jack. We'll say you're Pajama Boy with the power of sleep and dreams. I don't want to be Pajama Boy, said Jack. He sounds stupid. Then say you're called Jack and see what happens, whispered the Christmas pig fiercely as they moved ever closer to the front of the line. Now, how are you lost? I fell out of a boy's pocket, said Jack, copying what the Christmas pig had said earlier to the tin opener. And where are you now? Asked the Christmas pig. I'm here talking to you, said Jack. The Christmas pig covered his face with his trotters. We will be lucky if you aren't thrown straight to the loser. He removed his trotters again and said, It's your alivened bit that's been sucked down here into the land of the lost. You need to tell the lost adjuster where your plastic body is, see? Up in the land of the living. This was your plan, said Jack, frightened and a bit cross, because they were now close to the front of the line. Tell me what I should say, quickly! But just then, an enormous commotion erupted behind them.